Welcome back to another episode of Wilderness Insights 24, organized by the Wilderness and Wildlife Protection Society of Royal College. Today, we have with us Dr. Pruthiviraj Fernando, an expert in the field of human-elephant relations. Sir, could you please introduce yourself?
I'm Pruthiviraj Fernando. I'm old boy of Royal College, and thank you for having me here today. I'm also the chairman of the Center for Conservation and Research. We are a research organization which focuses mainly on elephants, so elephant conservation and human-elephant conflict mitigation. So we conduct research, we study elephants, we study the issues, and then we work with the government as well as other stakeholders to find a solution to this problem.
Definitely, sir. So as an expert on human and elephant relations, what would you say the main causes of the elephant-human conflict in Sri Lanka?
If you take Sri Lanka, there are elephants in 13 Asian countries, Asian elephants. Sri Lanka is unique.
Definitely, sir.
In that 70% of elephant range in Sri Lanka is shared with people.
Definitely.
So only 30% of elephants live in areas where there are no people, the protected areas. But 70% are living with people. And wherever there are people and wherever there are elephants, people cultivate.
Definitely, sir.
So the crops that we cultivate are very attractive to elephants. So then they try to come and eat the crops. And then, of course, the farmers who cultivate don't want the elephants to come and eat the crops. So they try to prevent that and defend their crops. And so that is the sort of the proximal cause or the immediate cause of the conflict. Of course, the more you grow crops in areas with elephants, the more conflict you are going to have. So the more you open up forests and grow crops, we will have more issues. So currently, Sri Lanka, unfortunately, ranks number 1 in the world in terms of human-elephant conflict. We have the highest number of annual deaths of elephants in the world.
Really, sir?
And the second highest number of human deaths due to conflict with elephants. So around 400 plus elephants, I think last it was 488 elephants were reported dead, most of them due to the conflict. And I think last year about 175 or so people also died due to the conflict. So it's a major conservation issue, but also a major socio-economic issue.
Definitely, sir. How would you say, sir, that this crisis has evolved over the years, and what do you think the factors that affected this crisis are, that affected its escalation?
Clearly, yeah, as you say, it has escalated over the years, and the numbers of people and elephants dying because of the conflict have steadily gone up, continues to go up. Why that has happened is a complex issue. So for one thing, our human population is increasing. So we are opening up more and more areas where elephants used to be for agriculture. So that leads to conflict.
Yes, sir.
But beyond that, I think the approaches taken to manage this problem have not been the correct approaches.
Okay, sir.
And maybe when they began, maybe 70 years or so or 80 years ago,
yes, sir,
it was okay at that time. But unfortunately, we haven't changed. We are still trying to manage it the same way we managed 80 years ago.
Yes.
Whereas the world has completely changed.
Definitely, sir.
And the people have changed. What we want, what our aspirations, those have changed. What we do has changed. But so have the elephants.
Definitely,
because
sir,
elephants respond to how people interact with them. So the elephants 80 years ago are not the elephants today.
yes, sir.
So I think we need to change our ways to manage this problem.
Definitely, sir. Sir, earlier also you said that this elephant-human crisis, the conflict, has affected our economic, cultural, and social sectors of Sri Lanka a lot.
Yeah.
Could you please explain to us how this crisis has actually affected Sri Lanka as a whole and changed how we perceive many things in our society?
Well, I mean, there are a lot of Sri Lankans who are faced with the elephant problem.
Definitely.
So that's there are, if you take the area of the country where there are elephants and people living together, that's 44% of the country.
Okay, sir.
That is almost the entire dry zone of the country. So
Yes.
that's, we're talking about a few million people who are faced with this problem.
Definitely, sir.
So if so there is damage due to elephants raiding crops.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes when farmers harvest the paddy and bring it home and store it inside the house, elephants come and break the house to
Yes,
get
sir.
at the stored paddy. And in the process of trying to prevent elephants from doing that, or in the process of elephant trying to get at some stored paddy in a house, it might knock down a wall, it might fall on somebody,
Yes, sir.
or you might confront the elephants and try to chase it away, and the elephant might respond with aggression. And so people get killed, people get injured.
Definitely,
And
sir.
people are also scared of this,
Yes, sir.
because if you are living in a house, you have stored paddy, you don't know at what point at night an elephant might come and break down the house. So
Yes, sir.
every time there's a little bit of noise, people wonder whether it's the elephant.
Ah, I see.
And
Yes,
a lot of these houses don't have attached bathrooms, they have outhouses. So in the night, to go to the outhouse, you have to get out of the house and walk to the outhouse, and there might be an elephant there. So some of these people, it's psychologically, it's a big
sir.
problem for them. And in many cases, it's the man of the house who does the crop guarding.
Yes, sir.
And usually, if you take paddy fields or chaina fields are away from the house.
Yeah.
So he's in the chaina or the paddy field guarding the crops. And then all the time he's worried what happens at home.
At home.
His wife and kids are at home.
Definitely.
And the wife and kids are worried about
What's gonna
the
happen.
guy, what's happening to him. So these can lead to a lot of social stress and trauma.
Definitely, sir. So right now also you were explaining how how this impacts the local farmers and the like. Not just our human population, sir. How does this crisis affect the biodiversity of Sri Lanka as well as the elephant population of Sri Lanka?
Well, elephants are an iconic species, so
Definitely,
they are also what's called a flagship species, umbrella species, and so on. So they are very important for biodiversity and conservation.
Yes, sir.
They are also very important economically in terms of tourism,
Definitely,
because
sir.
everybody in the world loves to see elephants.
Yes, sir.
And there's no better place in the world to see Asian elephants than Sri Lanka.
Lanka.
So this is a great resource we have.
Definitely, sir.
So, and also, Sri Lankans are generally, our culture, our religions, talk about compassion
Yes, sir.
for all living beings.
Definitely.
And the current sort of conflict goes against the grain of Sri Lankan culture and religion, whether it's Buddhism or Hinduism. Those are the main religions. So
Yes, sir.
none of these say that you should get rid of the animals. So I think it's far better if we can find a way to coexist peacefully with elephants
Definitely,
rather
sir.
than be in conflict with them.
Definitely, sir. I mean, right now our government has taken many efforts in order to pacify this conflict.
Yeah.
But if possible, sir, could you also explain to our audience what are the measures taken by the government in order to mitigate the conflict between elephants and humans?
Right. So now herein lies a problem,
Yeah.
because the approach we are taking, we
Yes,
have
sir.
been taking for almost 70 years,
Yes, sir.
is the same. So more than 70 years ago, it was thought that the best way to mitigate the conflict and conserve elephants was to limit all the elephants to protected areas.
Yes, sir.
And so the elephants will happily live ever after in the protected areas, and the people will live outside, do cultivation, whatever, without any problem from elephants.
Yes,
So this is a idealistic, simplistic
Definitely.
idea. So this is what we have been trying to achieve. So the major things that we do elephant drives. That is particularly in relation to mega scale irrigation projects. We try to remove all the elephants and put them in the park by driving them.
Yes, sir.
We do elephant translocations. If a particular elephant causes problems, we catch him, and those are usually males.
Yes,
We
sir.
catch him, put him in a truck, and go to a park and release him.
Okay, sir.
We put up electric fences on the boundary of the park so that the elephants can't come in. So basically, the idea has been to separate people and elephants at a landscape scale. The parks for the elephants, outside areas for the people. So we have tried very hard, the government has tried very hard, particularly the Wildlife Conservation Department has tried extremely hard. Many of the officers have lost their lives in
really?
trying to achieve this goal. But after all that, we have spent huge amount of funds, effort. Today, 70% of elephant range is where there are people.
Yes, sir.
So after more than 70 years of trying to limit elephants to the park, if 70% are still outside, I think we need to rethink this, and we need to accept and understand that this hasn't worked, and we need to ask why hasn't this worked.
Definitely.
It is for a very simple reason, a biological reason. That is, if you take a glass of water,
Yes, sir.
a glass of water can hold a glass of water.
Yes, sir.
It can't hold a jug of water, right? So this is a very important biological concept called the carrying capacity. So exactly the same thing, if you take a park, there is a certain number of elephants that the park can hold, can support.
Definitely, sir.
And that number is already there. The glass is already full. So what is outside is the jug of water. You cannot put that whole jug into the glass that is already full. The park is full, it cannot hold any more elephants. So however much you try, it is something that is biologically impossible. So this is 8 years ago, people probably didn't have this understanding of biology and things like carrying capacity. So they thought, this is a great thing to do.
Yes,
But we have tried it, we have completely failed. So I think it's now high time that we find an alternative
Definitely, sir.
solution.
Definitely, sir.
And with that, the next episode of Wilderness Insights 24, organized by the Wilderness and Wildlife Protection Society of Royal College, comes to an end. Stay tuned for the latest.